I choose you because I hate you. The chilling words of Roman Reigns. But who did he say that to? We'll talk about it and get into it on the Monday Night Raw on Netflix review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And Raw was a bundle of fun this week. I have to say, it's been a while since I've said this, but Raw was great, top to bottom, really, really enjoyable. The Raw after the Royal Rumble, is that going to become a thing now? Are we going to see Raw after WrestleMania used to be fun, but now we're going to be potentially looking at how good the Raw after WrestleMania was? Well, we'll find out. But let's get into it. What a chaotic start. This is what I've missed about Monday Night Raw. This is the chaos, the craziness that is Monday Night Raw, and this is what I loved about it. Braun Breaker is tearing everything up. Those of you that don't know, and those of you that don't watch the Royal Rumble or have lived under a rock, Braun Breaker was attacked on his way to the ring during the Royal Rumble. He was number two. Obafembi was number one. He was attacked by a masked guy, gave him the stomp, and then Breaker rolls into the ring. Obafembi clotheslines him straight out, and he's out of the Royal Rumble, which was incredible. However, Braun Breaker starts this week on Raw on a tear. He is destroying everything in sight. He is blaming the general manager, Adam Pearce. So is Paul Heyman. Raw, of course, in Philadelphia, ECW. He can do no wrong, can Paul Heyman in Philly. But Breaker is livid. He wants to know who the masked man is. He's going crazy. There's security everywhere. Adam Pearce comes out and says, you know what? I'm going to give you a gift, Braun Breaker. I'm not going to fire you despite your piss poor performance in the Royal Rumble, which led you to think, was the masked man Adam Pearce? There's been a lot of, there's been a lot of things and things. It looked like Logan Paul. Logan Paul even had the black under his eyes when he come out after wearing the mask. So you could argue that. But one thing the WWE does do is they never usually. It's not always the first person under the mask. They put different people portray who is under the mask. So we have to be mindful of that when we talk a bit more. So it may have been Logan Paul at the Rumble, could be someone different next week, and it could turn out even to be Seth freaking Rollins when he's ready to return. So we'll have to keep our eyes and ears and wits about us as we carry on as the weeks go on on this. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. I've got a feeling at some point Braun Breaker is going to absolutely decimate Adam Pearce. I think he's a dead man walking currently, and that, Adam, is official. From there, we move to a really fun encounter. Javon Evans, El Grande Americano. As usual with this match, there's a lot of distractions, both from El Grande Americano, obviously Pete Dunne and Tyler Bater at ringside dressed up, and the OG Americano, Chad Gable, comes out. He distracts, allows Jevon to hit the OG cutter. I thought it was fun. I just thought there was too much gaga going on outside with the Americanos and whatnot, and you do expect it, but I think Jevon needed a really good, clean win, if I'm honest with you, in that. But I will say this: the last few NXT call-ups, Oba included, which we'll get to, I feel as if now there's an impetus on getting them right. My biggest gripe, and you can listen to it when the interview with Big Connor from the Ascension comes out next week, where he was saying, pretty much agreeing with what I was saying, that there's never a direction. It's just you're getting called up and we'll kind of figure it out, so to speak. So with Jevon, there seems to be an impetus. There seems to be something there. They know that he's great, don't get me wrong. But at least they're, he's not gone missing. He's not, doing nothing. He's there. He's doing some good stuff. So hopefully they may have, or they're in the process of solving that call-up issue, which is, well, it is really an issue in the WWE right now, and it has been for many, many years. So hopefully they do. AJ Styles music hits next. I was excited. Everyone's excited. And then it was Gunther. He loves it. The career killer was back on Raw. The crowd, it was fuck you, Gunther chants, you know. And basically, it turns out when you step into the ring with Gunther, your career dies. And Dragon Lee, of all people, AJ Styles, his former partner, comes out to try and he dives at Gunther, he charges at Gunther, and unfortunately, it doesn't work out very well for Dragon Lee. And Gunther ends up dropping him to the floor, puts his coat back on, and walks away. But I tell you what, he's looking like this unstoppable force. And I was, I'm thinking at the Rumble when we look at like Brock Lesnar, and I'm thinking who's going to be because Brock Lesnar will be at WrestleMania. There's no question about that. Brock Lesnar will be at WrestleMania definitely. There's an argument that his opponent could be Obafemi. There is a big argument that his opponent could be Gunther, and this is the momentum. Talking about people with the momentum, retired John Cena, retired AJ Styles. Is Gunther the man to do it to Brock Lesnar? We'll find out. Well, very, very soon, I would gather. But Gunther's on a mission. The career killer is here in the WWE, and you do not want to get in the ring with the ring general. Now, Eric and Ivar, haven't seen them in ages. They're in the ring, no entrance. They're just waiting for their opponents. Out comes Obafemi. Obafemi just looks like a guy he's just on a broomstick. Like he's like hanging up by a coat hanger. He's just massive. The guy is just Jesus. He looks like I tell you what he looks like. He looks like the Popeye when he's had the spinach. The guy is just crazy, and he's marching, doing all of this jazz or whatever he does to the ring. And I mean, he even says, I'm pretty sure I've got it on my notes here. He says, "You're going to die." To the War Raiders, and the War Raiders are no slouches, right? Eric and Ivar are absolutely no slouches when it comes to their height and weight, and they look intimidating. Obafemi threw these guys around like they were cruiserweights. They just decimated them, absolutely decimated. He hits Eric with the fall from grace. Excuse me. My God. I mean, it it's crazy. And they had to be. You have to have if you have Obafemi in 50 matches when he comes on, you're doing it wrong. This is the perfect way to introduce Obafemi to the main roster. Is he on Raw? We still don't know, and that was the idea. We don't know where Obafemi's planning to be. He's still a free agent as we speak, and I tell you what. He's a big old beast. Whoever signs him is going to be crazy. Do you know what though? I think the good thing about this is that the Viking Raiders won't lose credibility because the match never got started. They wasn't even expecting him to come out. So I feel as if that bit kind if it was a 2-on-1 match and he decimated them and he won cleanly and that was it, you could have really dented the Viking Raiders' legitimacy. But because he comes out they're not expecting it. I think that bodes well in terms of, you're not looking at them going, so hopefully anyway. From that to the Bellas, Nikki and the returning Brie Bella, which is very nice to see. And they're look, long and short of it, they want the women's tag team championships. Excuse me, I need a cup of my latte. Voices, too many podcasts. um, yeah, they want the tag team championship. I feel as if Nikki thought the crowd was crapping on her during this, and they wasn't. Well, potentially anyway. This was Philly. I mean, the thing is, s- send. I no disrespect to the Bears. I think I actually think they're great. To be honest with you, sending them out to the ring in a promo in Philly. I don't know if that was the wisest thing, but the women's tag team championships, I'm all for that. Maybe that's where we're going to WrestleMania. The Bellas going for the tag team gold of whoever is Z champion. Um, that is a big thing, huge thing for and whoever faces the Bellas as well. Don't forget. back into action, and we're talking about fun matches. Raw was in had these in abundance this week. Penta, El Zalamiero, and Bronson Reed, they had a great match. They had such a fun match. Penta, you know, I'm disappointed with how they're booking Ray Fenix right now. But Penta is the opposite end of this. They obviously see money in Penta, and I can understand why. This was great. I mean, there was like a DVD style backstabber counter from Penta in this. Bronson Reed, I'm telling you, Bronson Reed, there is so many people that do, oh, he's just a big guy. No, like an Obafemi, Bronson Reed, and he makes everything look like it hurts. The sooner when he hits a tsunami, it's absolutely you just cringe because he's 300 odd pounds. He makes it look, and I know it sounds stupid when I say he makes it look like it hurts because it generally actually does, but he really makes it look like it hurts. These two had a great match. Obviously, Theory was out there as well. Penta ends up taking them both out of a dive. Um, he does hit a tsunami on this as Bronson. There's no referee to make the count. LA Knight hops the barricade with a chair, drops Reed with the BFT onto the chair. Logan Paul and Theory chase LA Knight out, and Eamon's going absolutely bananas on the outside because the referee counts Bronson Reed out, and Penta gets the victory. Now, my only thing, LA Knight. Now, this is like a Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, although she's won the women's championship, but in terms of the Royal Rumble, she was the nearly girl. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Until this past weekend, where she won the Royal Rumble. She became the bride, so to speak. And now she's, you know, going to WrestleMania, main event WrestleMania for the women's championship. So LA Knight seems to be the always the groomsman, never the groom. Is that a thing? I don't know. But LA Knight's always on the periphery. I just wonder whether this is going to lead to anything, right? I don't know. Is he turning into the Vision Hunter? Or, and this is a bit of a left field one, is LA Knight going to join forces with the Vision? Food for thought. Um, Great news. Dominic Mysterio is back, ladies and gentlemen. He makes his way to the ring, and Dominic come back because he wanted to celebrate with Liv Morgan, and those shorts or whatever Liv Morgan was wearing, they were very well. They, yeah. I'm not sure if the rating on Netflix was high enough because they were very very short for Liv Morgan. But look, all in saying that it was a celebration for Liv Morgan. But the celebration was also being questioned by Raquel Rodriguez. Like, why did you eliminate me from the Royal Rumble? And Liv was like, well, you're not a selfish person. You've got your title shot. You've got Stephanie Vaquer here later on Raw. So I took it, so you had your title. You got your title match. I wanted mine. So that was it. But, Dominic back on his team. I feel as if the segment was a little long, maybe. I think that's a fair assessment. Um, but yeah, great to see Dom back on our screens. But one thing that Raquel Rodriguez did say was that she wanted to win the championship on her own. This was a Philadelphia street fight against Stephanie, which was next, of course. And this was a great match. I feel as if Raquel, ever since she started calling herself Big Sexy, she's coming into her own. And I love this about characters when they start to, really. I always say this about TNA and like the Dana Brooks, Ash by Elegance, and AJ Francis, and people that generally leave the WWE and then they create this character or they continue a character or there's a character made for them that just fits. This for Raquel Rodriguez just fits. And she brought the fight to Stephanie Vaquer in this one. There is no doubt about it. And I think Julia, who had this hype, perhaps hasn't lived up to it. I don't know if that's a booking of Julia or not. Stephanie Vaquer, on the other hand, she has lived up to the hype. And she hasn't had like a massive amounts to do, but when she's done it, it has been brilliant. And again, I think Raquel Rodriguez may have a gripe with Liv Morgan into this because she come out, Roxanne Perez come out as well in this. And then at one point, Vakir countered I think it's a power bomb with a Hurricane Rana that sent Raquel Rodriguez through the table. She hits the Angel's Kiss for the victory. Um, and during this, uh, when I said about Liv Morgan, she did try and hand Raquel the championship, but she wouldn't take it. So bit more dissension in there. There was chairs in this. There was just she got hit with a fall away slam on chest. I loved it. I thought this was great. But after the match, Liv Morgan drops Vakir with the Oblivion. So not necessarily made her choice yet, but it's kind of pushing that way. And that was a great main event. That was the main event of Raw. We have one more segment left, but that was the main event of Monday Night Raw. And a big truck pulls up backstage, and out comes the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And he wants help. Roman wants help. He wants Philadelphia's help to choose who he faces at WrestleMania. And with that in mind, out comes Mr. Cult of Personality himself, CM Punk. Now, Punk comes out to the ring. He, I love this. He stares down Roman Reigns and then just walks into the corner and starts talking about Finn Balor and basically saying that he's a dead man for everything that he's done. And Roman was like, fuck you doing? Like it was priceless. This segment was absolute promo perfection. If you're looking to sort of master a promo in wrestling, this is a 10-minute segment. You watch it because this is everything that you need in a segment. Just bear with me. And that brings out CM Punk, who, wow, I mean, this is incredible. They go at it in a promo battle for the ages. And Punk was like, you're an intruder on my show. What are you doing here? This is Monday Night Raw. This is Netflix. I'm your champion. What are you doing on my show? And it was brilliant. They do a yay boo spot where Punk tries CM Punk, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, and the crowd boo, and Roman Reigns CM Punk, and they cheer and whatnot. And Punk also says to Roman Reigns, "Be careful what you wish for," because Roman, sorry, said to Punk that McIntyre was 4 times bigger than him, and McIntyre had him crying over a little plastic bracelet, and then Punk said, "Well, they ran out of staples to put McIntyre back together when CM Punk beat him at Hell in the Cell." And they got involved in asking about how many cousins were, making it took to get the job done. And Reigns was like, the only reason you're back is the company asked me if it was okay to you to come back. And we went in Hell in a Cell and I shook your hand like a man. We were the Zebros or some stupid shit like that. And he said, that Punk, kind of followed in his footsteps. And like Punk was like, "I'm making you're a part-time guy. I can respect that. You can come on here. I'm doing this. I'm making all the towns, 10 countries, or in 3 weeks or whatever he said." And Roman was like, You've done all that because you had a 10-year vacation. That's why. And I would do the same if I were you. And he said, I could pick you because you're the main man, you're the world champion. I could pick you because Raw and Netflix are the best brand. He went, but I'm picking you because I hate you. And at WrestleMania, you will acknowledge me. And wow, I tell you what a Raw. I mean, I've not been very, thingy of WWE's booking recently, but that Raw was one of the best ones that they've put on in many a time. So kudos to WWE. Fantastic Raw. Punk Reigns is the money WrestleMania main event that we all really do want to see. I'm very much looking forward to it as we are now really on that road to WrestleMania, which will bypass and take a pit stop at the Elimination Chamber. And the winner of the men's one will take on in this case, will take on Drew McIntyre. And the women's one, we don't know because Liv hasn't made her choice yet. So much went on Raw. It was very exciting. Really, really enjoyed it. What will happen next week, we'll find out. But you can follow us, HTT Buckle, on X, everywhere. HTT Buckle, everywhere, because we are everywhere. Follow us on there, and we'll be back with a Raw review a bit later on next week as I'm going on my hollybobs. Till next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe. It's about damn time. We are back with the Raw on Netflix review for the Raw after the Royal Rumble. Main events are set, and someone is chosen because he's hated. We'll get into all that and more. But Monday Night Raw started off in chaotic fashion. Braun Breaker trying to pretty much destroy everything in sight. Paul Heyman in Philly, the crowd love it, saying it's all Adam Pearce's fault. Those of you that don't know, Braun Breaker was attacked by a masked man on his way into the Royal Rumble and was thrown straight out of the Royal Rumble by Obafemi, and he's not happy to say the least. And with Braun Breaker destroying everything in sight, that brung out Adam Pearce, who says, "You know what? I've got a gift for you. After your piss poor performance in the Royal Rumble, I'm not gonna fire you," which I thought it was hilarious. That brought out LA Knight, who was in the ring, and he laid out Logan Paul and Fury with a chair. This was a chaotic. This is the kind of start that Monday Night Raw really needs. This is the kind of start that we need on Monday Night Raw. You know, we've missed this. It's normally been so uneventful, uninspiring. But this is the exact start we needed to Monday Night Raw. And then, funnily enough, we move on to a really great matchup on Raw. This was Javon Evans against El Grande Americano. Fun match. There was a lot of outside interference in this, as you can imagine, by the other Americanos, and of course the OG, the original El Grande Americano. So lots of gaga at the end and throughout, but when the action got into the ring, Javon Evans and El Grande Americano did put on a really fun encounter, no doubt about it. I would have liked to have seen Jevon get the win just on his own without the need of everything else going on in the background, just because he is, he's still relatively new to the roster. So to see him pick up a victory would have been, a good victory, as in, cleanly would have been good. But, at the end of the day, it was still a good opportunity and a good chance for Jevon to shine. I feel as if, with these latest NXT call-ups that something they may actually work out. There's so many times when NXT call-ups don't work in the WWE for whatever reason, and I really feel like this year we may get something that actually works, and I feel quite strongly about that because I've always been a big advocate for not calling people up until you've got a plan. And Big Con, who we had on recently, whose interview you'll see next week, is a prime example of that. He basically said that the NXT call-ups were rushed with no real direction. So there you go. There you go. So we'll see. We will see how it happens or what happens. And